I'm doing the final sanity checks of the hardware for the version 3 portable guns and figured I'd make a little video showing you what I have put together. Now, the big change for the V3 guns is it's running with a Pi 3, and also with that added power and added hardware, it allows me to get rid of my old coprocessor, which was an Arduino. That means bringing a lot of the analog stuff on board to a Pi, which really isn't designed to do analog things. Now, right off the bat, you can see I'm no longer using the onboard sound card or the a USB sound card. I have a little I2S sound card right here. Now that I2S is kind of like SPI, but not really. It's used a lot of times in cell phones or other digital things. And this one uses I2S for the audio in and out, and then it has an I2C connection to handle all of the out-of-band control stuff like volume, the mixing, and all that stuff. In addition, I have glued on an ADC and my IMU there, and those just piggyback onto the I2C bus so I can read everything together. You can see I've got the wire coming out and running over to a little auto gain control microphone there. It's the same ones used in the Tron suit. And this saves a lot of hassle because USB is a pain on the Pi. It causes a lot of context switching and CPU usage, and the onboard sound is pretty poor to begin with. Now you can see here's the Pi 3. The Pi 3 gets very hot. If you don't have active cooling on it and actually push it to its limits, it will thermally throttle and slow itself down, which is a problem. I've also got here the first SPI interface is hooked up to this little screen, which is going to be for stats, aiming, and just to simplify the interface so I don't have to pull my cell phone out. But because the SPI interface is being used for this, I actually have to be bit banging the LED strip. Now the LED strip is switching over to the APA 102s because I can get them at a greater density than the LPD 8806s that it used to use, but they, for the most part, work about the same. It's a little bit. They are a faster strip, but it's actually going a little slower because I have to bit bang it out manually, and I can't share it with the screen because even though SPI is supposed to be shared, when you're using a screen as a frame buffer driver, it pretty much monopolizes the entire bus, and other devices can't get in edgewise. You can also see here, with all this hardware, there's not a whole lot of pins left on the Pi. I can see if I can focus on here. The only thing left is, because I'm not using the onboard sound, I actually have the two pulse width modulation channels available. So one is handling pulse width modulation for the cooling fan, so I can variable speed that. And the other will be used to pulse width modulate the night vision, so I can control that more accurately. And then I'll have my 4 little switches for the actual user interface, which will use up the last of my digital I/O. And at the end of the day, I'll have no USB ports used, and I'll only be using the onboard Ethernet, which is technically USB attached, but there's no getting away from that. Now you can see I also have a voltmeter and an amp meter hooked up, so you can kind of see the power change as the effects run. But I'm just going to start up playing a video, and then you can see the CPU usage and the power usage a little bit. So let me just fire this up here.
Hello, Ghostbusters. Yes, of course they're serious. You do? You have? No kidding. Uh-huh. Well, just give me the address. Yes, of course. Oh, they'll be totally discreet. Thank you. We go!
This is rotating the accelerometer.